back. All right, we got another video here about a police officer. Definitely doesn't appear appropriate. You let me know. But basically, just an auditor. Well, I don't even want to say he's an auditor, but he just, I guess, happened to audit this night because he said he just want to, he sees the police car in the middle of the shopping center. He's not doing anything. He wanted to check on his government. He wanted to check on where his tax dollars are going to. That's all he was doing. He was just armed with a camera, and you'll see. Let's go.
How you doing, Dad?
Hey.
What's up?
You seem like you want to come talk to me.
No, I'm just coming to see what car number it is.
Am I taking out your pocket?
Huh?
Am I taking your hand out your pocket?
Am I detained?
No, you're not being detained. Take your hand out your pocket.
I don't have.
Okay, so that's the key thing there. He's not being detained. So you don't really have to listen to officers. They have no control over you. Let's go.
Your hand out your pocket?
Am I detained?
No, you're not being detained. Take your hand out your pocket.
I don't have to take my hand out of my pocket. I didn't break no law. Car number 2036, sitting in the parking lot, not even parked in the proper parking spot.
And I just wanted to mention something because it'll come up later. The cop says nothing about loitering. Let's go.
Wasting tax dollars, money.
Hey, bud, take your hand out your pocket.
I don't have to do nothing you tell me.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Is that a lawful order?
Also, just peek. The person with the camera took a few steps back. The officer took some steps towards him. He kind of closed the gap. So that's kind of important because if the officer is feared for his safety, he could just step back. But remember, he's not being detained. He doesn't have to follow orders.
Is it a lawful order?
Yes, it's a lawful order.
For what? Officer safety?
I'm telling you right now, take your hand
Oh,
out your
he's
pocket.
got a gun drawn.
Sir?
He's got his gun drawn for a man with a camera coming up to a cop car that's sitting in a parking lot. This is considered police brutality because he just drawed. I'll put it right back.
Okay, so that's basically it. And then the rest of this is gonna be Reddit, but I'm gonna hang it here. But I just play it back real quick. He has his hands in his pocket. He says he's not being detained, but he says he needs to take his hands out of the pocket, so he pulls his gun. Do you think this is legal? Does the cop have the right to do this, even when you're not detained? I'll have my thoughts in a second.
Is it a lawful order?
Yes, it's a lawful order.
For what? Officer safety?
I'm telling you right now, take your hand out
Oh,
your
he's
pocket.
got a gun drawn.
Sir?
He's got his gun drawn for a man with a camera coming up to a cop car that's sitting in a parking lot. This is considered police brutality because he just drawed. I'll put it right back. I got my keys and lighter in there. Nothing else. I don't have. That's no.
Okay, so this is the main situation. Okay, he has his hands in his pocket. He doesn't take them out. The officer pulls the weapon. This is the kind of the whole incident. All the rest of this is just gonna be a whole bunch of cops explaining. But if you want to watch it, just stay tuned. But this is the whole incident. So basically, what's your opinion on this? Does the officer have the right to pull out his gun? Because basically, I call this aggravated assault. Look at it this way: the cop said he's not being detained. Okay, now if a cop can make you take your hands out your pocket, that means he can walk down the boardwalk, right? You walk down the boardwalk, there's people going by, right? And some people got their hands in the pocket and some people don't. So when some people come by, and he's kind of close to him, like he close to this guy now, he can say, "Hey, take your hands out your pocket." And you're like, "What?" You're like, "Yeah, I said take your hands out of the pocket," and he pulls your gun. You're not even being detained, but he's saying take your hands out of his pocket. Now, if he was being detained, I can totally 100% understand. If you're being detained, then they got some leeway to make sure that they got officer safety and stuff like that. But basically, if you're not being detained, it's more or less a consensual contact, which I hope y'all know what that is. So like walking down the street, if the cop sees somebody, if he talks to somebody, even asks them a question, it's all consensual. If somebody stopped or whatever, it's consensual. That means you don't have to do what the cop said. You only have to do what a cop says is, of course, if you're arrested or if you're detained. And you only have to do what a cop says while you're detained if it's lawful. But a lot of times they will bring up this cop safety bullshit, okay, which can be valid. But basically, we can clearly see that the cop is just upset that he's sitting in the parking lot doing nothing, and it's this guy walking up with a camera. Now, for him to pull out a weapon, he needs to have a more reasonable suspicion that he is armed, not just hands in the pocket, okay? And like I said, the guy is not even being detained. You know what I'm saying? All he should have done was just kept his hand on his gun, being ready, and he probably should take some steps back. But he actually gets closer. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't finally take a step back until, his gun is already out, and then he realized he made a boo-boo, and then he starts to step back. So that's what he should have stepped back a little bit and observed, but you can't just point your gun at anybody just think of what type of society this would be. I'm walking down the street. I get close to a cop car. I start looking at it. I look at the number on the car. I start looking at the tags. He comes out and says, take your hands out of your pocket. I say, am I being detained? He says no. So I keep on looking at the car, and then he pulls out his gun. That's aggravated assault. Let's just flip the script. Let's just say you got a nice car. You got a Corvette, right? You in the middle of the parking lot. You got a Corvette. Some guy walks up, you're looking at it. Hey, yeah, you got a nice car. But the guy has his hands in his pocket. And you're like, hey, the guy's at the same distance that this guy is. I don't know, 10 feet or whatever. And he's looking, but he got his hands in the pocket. And you don't own the car. You say, hey, I need you to take your hands out of the pocket. And the guy was like, for what? And he said he's not going to do it. So if you drew your gun on him because he had his hands in the pocket, do you think you'll go to jail or at least be charged? Why should this officer not be charged? This officer is not above the law. But if you think this is okay, or if police department think this is okay, then any police officer walking down the street can make somebody take their hands out the pocket. And if they don't, they can pull their gun on you, even though you didn't commit a crime, even though you're not suspected of a crime, and even though you're not being detained. This shit gotta stop.
He just drew a weapon on a private citizen doing a.
Now you gotta bear with the guy. He looked like he, I don't know, may have a speech impairment or whatever. So, but he does. Okay. He does a pretty good job. He's pretty flustered. He's trying to get his words out. They don't come out as clear. That's understandable. Even though I make these videos, I make mistakes. I stutter, blah, blah, blah. I lose my train of thought. So it happens. So just bear with him. But he's going through a traumatic state. I mean, just imagine you just in the parking lot and somebody pulls a gun on you. Now, later on, now he really know that he's fucked up. So now while he's talking to him, he's trying to think what else he can get him for. So later on, he's going to come up with loitering. Now, loitering doesn't make any sense because he wasn't investigating anything. He was just sitting in his car. So he never even saw this guy to even know that he was loitering because he was sitting in his car. So how you going to accuse him of loitering? The first time you saw him was when he walked up. So how do you know what he was doing for the last 30 minutes? It doesn't even make any common sense. But he's gonna try that loitering bull crap. But the only loitering that this guy knows about is that as soon as this guy walks up, right, and starts to take a picture, this guy's gonna end up later on detaining him, and that's the only time he's loitering because the cop won't let him go. But if the first time that you see this guy is when he walks to the car, how can you say he's loitering? You don't know what he was doing. You have to at least observe this guy, see that he's hanging around doing nothing to know that he's loitering. But the first time you saw him was when he walked up behind you or from the side of you. Doesn't make any sense.
Stop talking at me.
I don't have to stop talking.
Yes, you do.
Goodbye.
Okay, have a nice day.
You too. What's your
Now, remember, this is the problem. The guy fucked up, right? He still says that he's not detained. He said, have a nice day. But cops' ego kicks in and they gotta find something. They gotta find something on you. They gotta get you. So basically he said, have a nice day. This means he's free to go. But remember, if you're free to go, you're free to stay. Cop doesn't like this. So now this free to stay, since he's free to stay, cop gonna try to hit him with loitering. Bullshit.
name and badge number?
My name's Owens. 7.
Owens? All right.
You might not want to walk up to me with your hands in your pocket.
I can walk up to a police officer with my hands in my pocket. That's not unlawful.
Go try and get your little lawsuit and get out of my fucking face.
What?
Go on. Go try and get your fucking lawsuit and get out of my face. Go.
See, right here, he's pissed off because he's cursing, okay? The cop was sitting in his car. The guy walked on him with a camera. He's talking about some lawsuit. So why is he cursing? Why is he not staying professional? Okay. Now you got to remember, everybody, all walks of life, they may have attitudes. They may act like assholes. I'm not saying this guy is, but I'm just saying, as a police officer, why do you think you're gonna run into people who love the cops and are perfect citizens of a day, every day? But you shouldn't take your job personal, and he's taking it personal now by cursing out. What did this guy do? He just came over the camera and didn't take his hand out of his pocket, but now he's upset because he made a dumb move and put out his gun on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now he's upset. Okay? But these are the cops that we do not like. He's unhinged.
Police officer with my hands in my pocket. That's not unlawful.
Go try and get your little lawsuit and get out of my fucking face.
What?
Go on. Go try and get your fucking lawsuit and get out of my face. Go.
I got a lawsuit, bud. You just drew a weapon on me for no reason. This is definitely going to your supervisor.
See, another thing here too, this is private property, right? Private property is a little tricky, okay, for cops, because normally they do stuff in the public, but he's not on property that he owns, the cop, and a guy is walking on private property. He's on the Walmart property. He can do this, okay? So it's not like he's out in public. He's out on private property. The cop shouldn't even be there himself, but if he is there, he doesn't own it. You know what I'm saying? But he's getting upset because somebody's walking up to him on private property. That plays a role.
Officer Owens just drew his weapon on me. Huh?
Right now you're being detained.
For what?
See how he flipped it? 2 or 3 times he told that man he was not being detained. All this guy was doing was walking back to his vehicle, and now he's detained. This is the type of bullshit cops we do not need on the streets. He's just upset that he got caught on the taxpayer's dollar, and then he got caught on camera pulling out a gun on somebody for really no reason. Now, we understand the reason is for hands in the pocket, but you can't just go down the street everywhere you go. Like, if I went right there now and I had my hands in the pocket, he tells me I'm not detained. He just pull a gun on me until I take my hands out of my pocket. It's ridiculous.
For what?
I'm 10-4. I got one detained.
For what? What are you detaining me for?
I'm frisking you because I'm fearing for my safety.
You're going.
See, here you go. The cop claims he feared for his safety, right? If he feared for his safety, which we assume was when he pulled his gun out, why didn't he Terry frisk him then? Seriously, he pulled it. Now, if he's, are you going to tell me he was not afraid of his life when he pulled his gun out? If he wasn't, why did he pull his gun out? If what this cop just said, now he's feared for his life. As the order is walking away, why wouldn't you frisk him right then when you had the gun if you claimed you was feared for your life? After he pulled the gun, 2 times he said, walk away, get the fuck out of here, meaning he's free to go. So the order starts to walk away. And now all of a sudden, he feared for his life. Doesn't make any common sense. This is harassment, pure and simple.
Into my pocket. Yeah. This man just unlawfully detained me for no reason. He grabbed me.
Anything else?
Huh?
Can I help you with anything else?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question while you were sitting in the parking lot.
Walking up trying to pick a fight with law enforcement. That's all.
Oh,
So you got one.
Here.
You got one.
I'm walking up trying to.
Well, we need to know what his definition of a fight is. Okay, a definition of a fight is: I see a police officer. He's sitting in the car. I say, "Hey, get out, man! I want to throw a punch at you." Okay, I want to run a fade with you. That's slang. Okay. The auditor didn't do anything like that. He went to the car and just taking a picture. And then when the cop said something to him, he said he just want to take a look at the car. And, he shouted out the car number. I think it was 31 or whatever he said. He didn't say nothing about a fight. But like I say, it all depends on what his definition of a fight is. My fight is fist fight. If he's talking about verbal judo, the guy wanted to have a conversation, okay. But he's trying to make it criminal or something. This cop is ass.
Fight with law enforcement. That's all.
Oh,
So you got one.
Here.
You got one.
I'm walking up trying to pick a fight with law enforcement.
What else do you
Goodbye. If I'm not detained, you don't have nothing else to say.
Here's the thing. The cop is asking this guy, what else do you need? This is harassment. This cop followed this man walking to his car. Obviously, he didn't want anything. He had been walking away. He would have been in his car already had you not detained him because you said you fear for your life. And now he's talking about, can I help you? What do you mean, can you help? You the one who stopped him from walking away. Cops are retarded.
Maybe I'm leaving. Fucking cop's gonna get fucking lawsuit now. Get my tag, didn't it?
So just to let you know, so he calls him back up, but just to let you know from here on out, it's just gonna be a whole lot of cops blaming. They're gonna try to ease it out and try to cops blame why he pulled out his gun. Even, and this is how the blue gang is true. His partner comes and all they're gonna do is try to back him up. The cop wasn't even there. He didn't see what happened. He's still gonna back him up. And then eventually they're gonna call the supervisor. The supervisor's still gonna back him up. So that's why, they investigate themselves and they never find anything wrong. So if you want to hear some cops blaming, you can sit here for another 10 minutes because that's what's about to happen.
Didn't do you no good. Deputy Owens.
If you got nothing else, you need to move on. We got a ordering ordinance.
You don't know what I'm doing here, so you don't have no right to tell me anything. I'm waiting for somebody. You can't tell me to move on. How are you going to trespass me without there being permission? Bullshit. No, I'm not. I'm waiting for somebody to get off work at Walmart.
You're sitting over here trying to pick fights.
Oh, you don't know what I'm here for. I've been here waiting for my sister-in-law to get off work, so.
This guy talking about he's still there trying to pick fights. When all this officer is doing is standing right there in his face, where he could go back to his car and continue to waste taxpayers' money.
Car with your freaking hands in your car.
I can come up to a cop car with my hands in my pocket. That's not unlawful, asshole. Fucking idiot.
No, that is unlawful.
No, it is not.
Order from a police officer. Get your
Bullshit.
And what'd you do?
Bullshit. That's not a lawful order. Not a lawful order. I wasn't detained. You're the one that's not listening. Unless I'm violating the law, you have no authority over me.
First of all, you're freaking ordering.
It is not loitering. I have a purpose now.
He's still going on his loitering. Now look at this. Look like the place is still open. All those cars are out there. He's on private property. Could still be shopping. I kind of understand if it was like 4 in the morning. There were no cars left at all. Everything was shut down. I see lights and stuff still on. That would give you more of loitering. But look, at this point right here, when the cop says loitering, what has he seen? All he has seen is one, when he first walked to the car, and then he pulled his weapon on him. And then, a little later on, he did actually detain him. And then I guess he undetained him. And the only loitering he's seen is right here. So he's not running around aimlessly. He's right here with you cops. Okay? So you can't be loitering because he's in an interaction with cops. That's not loitering. Now, if no cops were there and he just walking around, hanging around, like that could be loitering. But it sounds like he got a valid reason because he does go on to say the name of the person and describe the person that he's waiting for. He probably is waiting for somebody in Walmart. So I don't think it's loitering. But how is he loitering when the cops never left him? If you never left him, you're part of an interaction. That's just like saying if you're walking down the street and you actually get detained and they hold you for 16 minutes, you can't go nowhere. And they're going to say, well, you've been here for 16 minutes. You're loitering. When the cop has been there the whole time. This is the dumbness that this cop is trying to push.
I'm videotaping you.
Cool. Well, your purpose is about to go to jail.
Yeah, well, right. Uh-huh. Supervisor.
Okay, you're detained.
Supervisor.
He's on the way, bro.
And just to be clear, he said that he's detained again. So he's gone from the From not being detained to detaining him to tell him to get the fuck out of here, and now he's back to detaining him again. This cop is all over the place.
Guess what? You going to jail after?
Right, for what?
Now, before seeing the end of the video, do you think he's going to jail? And if he's going to jail, what do you think he's going to jail for? Putting his hands in the pocket? Loitering? And look, this whole time, he's never even asked him to identify anything like that. So it's just terrible police work. I don't know what this guy's doing. But now he's talking about going to jail. Going to jail for what charge? Only thing I can see is putting his hands in his pocket. But he asked him what law is that, and the cop couldn't come up with the law. So I don't know. Maybe he'll come up with destruction or something, even though he wasn't detained at the time. He had his hands in his pocket. And right now he's saying that he'll end up and go to jail. I guess for loitering. So, and this guy was never out of sight of this officer's eyes. The officer was always with him. So the only thing that he's seen is that him hanging around for 15, 16 minutes while the cop is there. This guy, this auditor, is part of an investigation. So how can you consider that loitering? Because he's with you. This is the dumbness. The complete dumbness.
Got your fight.
For what?
Big fight. Right now you're.
For what? I came up to record a police officer, which is my constitutional right to do.
And what else you did? You walked up with your hands in the pocket.
That is not illegal.
Now, what'd you do?
That is not illegal. You jumped out on
You
me.
didn't listen to a lawful order from a police officer. What'd you do?
That's not a lawful order.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, it is not. It is not a lawful order.
It's just sad that this guy's detaining him. He's so butthurt that he's going to detain him in hopes of trying to find something like crack to take him to jail for. Doesn't make any sense.
What law am I violating by having my hand in my pocket? What law is that? What law is that?
So what's going on, man?
All right, so now they try to play good cop, bad cop.
I'm just now pulling up. I have no idea what's going on.
I just got out to go and see what card number it was. I'm a First Amendment auditor, journalist. I go and film cops in the course of their duties. That's my right. He's been sitting here since I pulled up. And parked and not even parked correctly in the parking lot, right? So I went to get his car number and go around his car, get the plate number. He jumps out and is like, get your hand out of your pocket. I don't have to take my hand out of my pocket unless that's not a lawful order. There is no law against me walking around with my hand in my pocket.
I'm not battling you at all.
I'm not saying you are, but I don't have to take my hand out of my pocket.
Listen to what I'm saying. What part of what he said was unlawful?
There is no law that says I can't have my hand in my pocket.
What part of what he said was unlawful?
Nothing.
Okay.
But there's no law that says I can't have my hand in my pocket. So it's
And pay attention. Him nor the other officer can describe the law that you have to take your hands out of your pocket when you're not being detained.
an unlawful order.
Look, you keep saying the same thing. Okay, look.
Well, I'm done talking.
What did he say?
But like I said, this is all cop-splaining. All cop-splaining.
No, he told me to get my hand out of my pocket. That's not a lawful order. There is no law that says I can have my hand in my pocket, you idiot. No, it is not. You have to have a law to back it up, you idiot.
Shut that car off because you can't go anywhere. You're detained. I'm telling you right now. If you pull off right now, you will.
I want your supervisor.
He's on his way. But if you pull
You pulled a gun on me.
Yep, I did because you had your hand.
He pulled a gun on me for having my hand in the pocket. That
That's
is not
what
a
you're being
lawful
detained
order.
for.
That's illegal. That's police brutality. There is no reason for him to draw a weapon. He's got an unlawful.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
You got a taser. You could have pulled your taser instead of your gun, you idiot. He pulled his gun on me.
So for right now, for purposes of what's going on right now, you're just detained to our supervisor.
What crime am I breaking?
Right now, you're loitering.
No, I'm not. I told him I'm waiting for my.
Now, this cop just got here, right? And he says that he's loitering. But remember, the guy was being detained. The guy couldn't leave. So why is he saying he's loitering? He can't leave. Like, this cop never saw this guy just walking around aimlessly doing nothing, which is what loitering is, because he was always attached to another officer in contact. So how is that loitering? But this cop here is saying he's loitering. He hasn't even seen the loitering. Does he know that he's being detained? He said, what you're doing right now is loitering. What do you mean he's detained?
Sister-in-law to get off work from Walmart. That's not loitering. My sister-in-law works here, and I'm waiting for her to get off work. When I pulled up, he was sitting there, been sitting there since I pulled up here. I figured I'd get out since that's what I do, is film police.
Paycheck. That's what you got out looking for.
Oh, if it didn't, and you just gave it to me by pulling your gun on me, you idiot.
Yeah. Well, guess what? That's what happens when you don't listen.
I don't have to listen unless I break the law. No, I don't. Well, okay, what reasonable articulable suspicion did you have to pull your gun on me?
So,
Officer Owens, what reasonable articulable suspicion? What reasonable articulable suspicion am I being detained for right now?
well, for right now, he gave you a lawful order.
Bullshit, that's not a lawful order. He didn't have no reason to approach me. I can record. I approached his car, filming. Filming, that's my right to do.
So you approached him. Let's hold on. So for right now, you approached him, correct?
I approached the car to get to film the car.
In the car, correct?
That doesn't matter if I approach the car.
If you want to be correct, he did approach the car, okay? The officer got out and actually approached him. It's all in the video. Cause the guy, once he got to the right side of the car taking pictures, he actually stepped back a few feet. It's all on video. And then the guy got out of his car, and then he took a few steps toward him, got closer, then he drew his gun. I mean, the cop actually approached him. This is fact. But you got this officer right here, Venezuela, whatever. He wasn't even here. He didn't even see it. But he's going off with whatever his officer said, and he knows for a fact that this guy approached him. He didn't even see the video. He don't know what happened. He just going with gang blue. In this case, it's like they got green. So they going gang green. Whatever his partner said, that's what's happening. So these cops aren't real. He tried to fake like he was a nice cop, but he's siding with the other cop. He doesn't even know what happened. Now, he did clearly say, hey, I don't know what happened. And if you wind it back, when he first got the window, he put both his hands up saying, hey, I don't know what happened. But now what did he say? He knows. He talked as if he knows for a fact. He said he was loitering. He said he approached him. But yeah, he said, you know what happened? He said he ain't know nothing. That's how he's lying. Right here, it's all on video.
It's not the fact you approached him. You're saying he approached you. Okay. So you approached his car because you wanted to get his car number.
Information.
Okay. And fair enough, right? But if he says, hey, get your hands out your pocket.
I don't have to comply because I don't. No, it is not. No, it is not.
That is unlawful.
I've already got this shown in court cases that you do not have the authority to tell me what to do unless I break the law.
So I'm with that. Not necessarily you have to break the law, but like all they need is reasonable suspicion that you committed a crime. So basically detained. So I'm with that. If you're not being detained, how can police officers tell you what to do? Okay. Now, there are certain weird locations where I guess it's like there was a big fight and they told you to disperse, right? And they're like, hey, you got to get out of here. You know, they're trying to clear it out. You're not really detained, but they tell you to leave. I guess there are some cases like that. But if you allow this, then like I said, he can walk down that shopping center sidewalk, past people, see people with hands in their pocket, and tell them that they got to take it out. And if not, he's allowed to pull their weapon, because that's exactly what happened here.
All right. So we're just talking in circles. I'm just let you sit here, man.
Yep.
The worst part is that the cop know he fucked up, and they're still going to sit here and detain this man for absolutely nothing. So after all this time, the best thing they could come up with, like they're not charging him for not taking his hands out of his pocket, the best thing that they could come up with is that he's loitering, although neither one of these officers saw him hanging around doing nothing by himself. Because the first time the officer on the right saw him is when he walked up with his camera. He had no idea. He didn't know where he came from. He didn't know what he was doing. But somehow he comes up with loitering. Tell me how that could be possible.
Circles. and we're just going to continue talking circles because
Your supervisor, please.
Right, and I believe I'm right. We're going to continue to talk.
Supervisor.
He's coming.
All right.
Okay, I'm not omnipotent. I can't make him teleport.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we said, right now you're detained.
For what?
Right now, loitering.
I'm not loitering. I'm waiting for my sister to get off work.
I told you 16 times to get your hands up.
I don't have to get my hand.
All right, so just so you know, again, it's just some cops explaining. This video is going to end before the supervisor gets there, but if you want me to do that, I do it. But it's going to be just more cops explaining, and they're going to side with the cops. But this video, we just going to sit here, and these cops going to keep cops explaining that it's a lawful order, it's a lawful order. You should have took your hands out your pocket. They're going to keep accusing him of loitering, a whole bunch of dumbness. So if you want to waste your time, hang in there. But these cops, man, they clueless, and they need to be corrected.
Hands out of my pocket. No, I do not. So you're going to tell me I have to identify now, too?
Bro, I'm telling you right now. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I do, too. I know the law.
Some stupid shit about sovereign citizen on
I'm not a sovereign citizen. You're the sovereign citizen. You're the one that thinks laws don't apply to you. My constitutional right gives me the right to come up. I know. I got one, too.
I'm not trying to hide.
You got out and pulled your gun on me because I went and put my hand.
Walked up to my car.
I don't have to fucking pull my hand out of my pocket.
You do.
No, I don't.
I'm telling you right now, you keep this going, you're going in handcuffs. Because I'm sick and tired of this. I don't know what you got in that freaking vehicle, but you're clearly not in the right state of mind.
You better pull your dog off. Get your dog off.
Clearly, that cop is unhinged. And for what reason? Because you claim he's loitering? Why are you still so unhinged? Why are you still so upset? Now, his buddy see that his cop is unhinged. That's why you see his arm is on him. He kind of told him to step back. But he still is going to back the blue. He's still going to take his side. See, already right there, like, yeah, calm down, calm down. Because why are you flicking off over somebody that you say is loitering that is not? What's the real reason you're so upset? Let us know.
Clearly not in the right state of mind.
You better pull your dog off. Get your dog off.
That right there lets you know that cop is OC. If your partner cop got to put your hand on you, whisper in your ear, you know you're doing something wrong. You're not protecting the community. You're not helping the citizens. You're just being a cop with a bully, a big ego, and this is one of the reasons why the community doesn't like cop. Is definitely one of the reasons why people say cops are tyrants. He's just trying to enforce his power willy-nilly just because he got caught, playing with himself out in the middle of the parking lot.
I said the reason that he's taking a little bit, there's another call that they're on right now. That's what I was just on the radio about, okay?
I don't see him doing anything. The deputy. Oh, you're
It's funny you keep calling the supervisor he. It's going to be a she that pulls up.
talking about your supervisor.
He's on his way, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so I'm just going to end this right here. I'll do the other video. I just don't have it ready right now. But like I said, they're just sitting here waiting for the supervisor. It's going to be a female. She's going to come. She don't know what happened, but it's only going to take like 42 seconds, and then she's going to talk to him like she knows what happened. So I'll do that video, and I'll put it up. And he also filed a complaint, and if something happens with that, I'll do another video and let y'all know about that. So like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think.